Hi everyone, my name is Shimiko and welcome to Final Fantasy XIV Diaries. So I accidentally recorded too much footage and the videos are gonna be like super long if I edit them normally, so I decided to do a different format. Which to me it feels more of like an actual diary. So I feel like it suits and whatever. I think it's kinda nice. So I hope you enjoy and yeah, let's get to it. First, I officially became a conjurer. I spoke with Medal and she sent me to Brother Simeon. He told me about the guild and what it means to be a conjurer. Something about the balancing of elementals and solving hurts, and the granting of protection, or something like that. To be honest, I'm not too sure, but luckily he acknowledged that it was a bit too much information for a newbie. Either way, he asked if I would solemnly vow to embrace nature and to heed the will of the elementals and Twellswood. Once agreeing, he gave me my very first class quest to go kill 3 squirrels, 3 fungoars, and 3 ladybugs. But before I departed, I picked up a side quest from a Huron lady named Brea. She asked if I was comfortable around Viokin. I was obviously very confused and asked why. She panicked explained that she was preparing for the forthcoming auguries, but found that they lacked the requisite quantity of scarlet oil. I didn't understand what any of that means, for I am just a lowly cat girl. But she still explained that scarlet oil can be harvested from ladybugs, the same ones we are to kill for our class quest. So of course I agreed and began to set off on my most important quest yet. But on my way, I remember Shenstoloop had a quest for me. So I thought, why not? He told me that he didn't want to waste the God's Clipper's time quelling the Fungoar's numbers. So if I'd like to prove myself worthy of being called an adventurer, I should be able to handle at least 6 of them. Anyway, this must be my lucky day because these Fungoars are the exact same ones I need for my job quest. Well, it's almost like this is planned out or so. And with that, I finally set off, leaving Gridania and taking on my quest. As I was casting arrow on as many enemies as I believed I could handle, I think a stranger must have mistaken me for a damsel in distress and decided to kill them all for me. Once I finished killing out the Fungoars on my own, I began to turn in my quest. First to Shenstoloop, welcoming me back with open arms and a celebratory laugh. He praises me, saying I may yet be of use to this nation. He gave me a very much needed magely hat. Next, Brea, who thanked the elementals for delivering me to them. She gave me a pair of leathery gloves. And finally, I reported to Brother Simeon. He told me that I had taken my first step along the path to enlightenment, which might have rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. It smells kinda culty, but I really want to try to trust him. He brought up something about manipulating the elementals, but I was totally lost. He could somehow tell again, telling me that comprehension shall come in due time. For more experience, and to help me master my conjury, he gives me a hunting log. And as a reward, he gave me 5 sets of raisins. Since I was level 5 already, I had access to the next class quest. And of course, I accepted. I was to go to a man named Nolinal in the North Shroud and learn of the subject of Earth. So I quickly hurried off. Upon entering the North Shroud, I found a bunch of the enemies I needed for my newly acquired hunting log. I then found Sir Nolinal. He said that the teaching would take too long for the busy life of an adventurer, so he would offer me a first-hand experience with Earth. In combat, he told me to go into Tracepeak stables and to seek a patch of soil that bears the mark of corruption. Then to reach out to the focus of the Earth's trauma and attempt to commune with it, as all conjurers can, apparently. And that'll make the tainted being really angry and appear, to which I will need to strike it down. So I did just that. I found the patch, communed, and then killed it. I'm not sure I felt anything, but Nolinal seems pretty sure I could feel the weight of the world or something. I feel the anger. But either way, because of what I did, I've given the Earth an opportunity to properly heal. So I basically solved global warming? Oh god, this is so dumb. But during my praise, he called out to a little girl named Sophie. I thought she was gonna be a sylph, but nope, she's just a little girl. They have a small back and forth. He wants her to study the way of the conjurer, but she already thinks she's good enough, and she doesn't want to do anything other than heal. She also casts a healing spell on me. She storms off, and he redirects his attention back at me, calling me a most attentive student and telling me to report back to Brother Isumi. I felt awkward being compared to a troubled child, so I gladly left. Before going back to the guild leader, though, I first go to grab the North Shroud Aetherite, and then I head up to the Peace Garden to cross microchews off of my hunting log. Once I get back to the guild leader, he asks me how my lesson went. He tells me that such experiences will serve me well before asking if there was anything else to report. I told him about the little girl named Sophie and how she casted a healing spell on me. He didn't seem too happy about it. He admitted to feeling frustration with the girl, saying she possesses a natural talent for the conjuring of mending and restoration. But her gifts have blinded her from the need to study, refusing to learn about the elementals in the world around her. He speaks of how he has tried many times to explain how important it is to learn, and how not understanding the source of her power comes with a risk to herself and others, but to no avail. If she continues on this path without repaying nature the debt she owes, she will create a dangerous imbalance. He suddenly brightens up, claiming that my encounter with Sylvie was ordained by the elementals. He asks that if I meet her again to impress upon her the importance of opening herself to nature's voice, that possibly she will listen to me for some reason. I guess I agree to do it. Either way, he realizes that he's been talking about her enough and begins to praise me for what I have learned so far, telling me the progress I have made does me great credit. In return for my valiant work today, he gives me a new magic stick, a wooden shield, and a white robe. And that is all for this episode of XIV Diaries. Thank you so much for listening till the end. I hope you enjoyed this different format, and yeah, have a good rest of your day or night. Bye bye for now.